Hey Pisces, welcome to your 2020 reading. It's not really love specific, career specific, or specific in any way. I've just pulled a Celtic cross type spread for you. Just look at the general energies that you're dealing with, the general themes that may come on challenges, focus points, and also advice for you going forward. I can see here as well that I would just say with the Four of Cups here, the immediate kind of thing that I got was that you need to be careful of like any missed opportunities or missing opportunities, or focusing too much on the past, or maybe even being too suspicious or stubborn about things, that there may be some offers that come in that may be better than they first appear. So that's just the first thing that I got when I've pulled these cards. Just to be careful of any missed opportunities, but that message may kind of change as we go through the reading and we get more information. The overall card, overall advice card for the actual reading is the Sun. So you are being asked here to follow your heart. It would be a good idea to look at your natal chart, look at your Sun placement, look at the house that it's in. Obviously, it's in the sign of Pisces, but look at the house, look at what's aspecting it, and to see, that might give you more indication if you still feel like you don't really know, what it is that you feel truly makes you feel vital and kind of sovereign in your own right, where you feel like you're really leading, really self-possessed and in like where you find yourself inspiring, where you find yourself to be like you feel like you're on path, you're doing what you feel you should be doing, where you just feel at ease and at harmony with your life purpose and your destiny. What did you love doing when you were a child? Sorry. That could also be an indicator. So you may be asked to look at these things this year. Again, we've got the Four of Coins at the base of the deck, with the Ten of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So yeah, we are looking at, with the Knight of Cups here, we are looking at you following your heart, doing what makes you happy, and being brave enough to do that as well. The Four of Cups could have come out to me so strongly because maybe you are holding on to the past disappointments. Maybe you're just getting over something that's kind of been life-changing. Maybe you're just laying some aspect of your life to rest in some way, whatever that may be, emotionally, work-wise, family-wise, just personally. It might be a personal hang-up that you had. Maybe you're finally you've just recently kind of got over that, maybe in the last half or quarter of 2019. And now you're in a position where the Sun has kind of completely risen for you, okay? But you may still be in old cycles. The Devil card at the center of the reading does again reiterate that there is maybe a bit of a lingering of old, it's like the ghost of the past still kind of lingers, but it's not part of your reality anymore. But you still may be so used to that. Say for instance you were in a relationship that where maybe had a very selfish partner, let's say, that they really were selfish to the point where it could have been quite detrimental to your own well-being, maybe even your children's well-being. Maybe it was not really not a nice person, and you were very used to maybe putting yourself second, to kind of accepting things as they are, to just not talking up when you knew you needed to, or defending yourself when you knew that that might have been the best thing to do. Or maybe you felt you couldn't, maybe it wasn't the best thing to do. You know, maybe you wanted to keep the peace, be like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bring it up. You may kind of still be in the habit of those things, okay? So I think you're being asked here again to be careful of maybe the suspicions that you're carrying with you, the emotional lessons that you've learned, that you really do take the baby and not the bathwater. Do you know what I mean? Take the lesson but not the pain if you can. The sun card here again reminds me that this year is like the sun is shining for you. The sun has risen on your life, so you now have a warm energy over you. You have possibly a lot of love and protection around you as well, you know, for this year. The scales will be removed from your eyes. Where you once maybe saw a lot of darkness, you will now see all the possibilities. You will see what you may have been missing as well with the Four of Cups as well. That may start to become clear to you, what you maybe have been missing in the past and how you've been holding yourself back. And I think as well, you will come to realize that you are empowered here to take your life into your own hands, basically. I think that's becoming more and more apparent to you, becoming more sovereign in that sense of your life and your life's path and destiny. And with the Sun card here, I just see things really clearing up for you, a lot more happiness. It could be a focus on children as well, especially with the Empress card here as well. You could be quite focused on mothering your family, and also getting in touch with your own inner child as well. That could also provide some healing and insight into why maybe you've even chosen those paths in the past, and where maybe your inner child does need attention. What is it that it's asking for? Again, looking at your natal chart can tell you a little bit more about your inner child, your parents, your upbringing, and you know what's going on there psychologically, and even your moon sign can also help you with that as well. And with the Eight of Cups here in your environment position, yeah, I do feel like this year you will be taking a journey onto seeking more emotional fulfillment, emotional healing, taking that journey within, you know, the journey that you can only take by yourself. There's no one else with this individual, although most of the cards don't show people with people, but it seems to be even more like this person's on their own on a journey. I mean, imagine going hiking completely on your own. It's it must be quite lonely, you know, to be in the wilderness on your own. So it's like you are kind of really doing the work that no one else can do but yourself. You are going in maybe into uncharted territory within yourself as well that you never really looked at before. But you are seeking this overall, you're seeking the 9 and 10 of Cups. You're looking for what you've been missing all this time, this happiness that you've been missing. Now, I will go straight to the Devil card because it is very apparent here and it's now standing out to me. So the Devil card is in the position maybe of what you're focused on most. So maybe there's some fears about maybe someone or something from your past that maybe you have got rid of coming back. There is this kind of the Devil card can often be worrying about, you know, having fears about sometimes it could be like, you know, the monster under the bed, the not knowing what's going to come, like that kind of anxiety, that fear, letting fear kind of fear of the unknown sometimes, fear, anxiety. It's like you may in this case, I think, especially with the Sun card, I think you're being advised here with the Devil card being like this main focus at the center of the reading, to really not worry about how things look. Okay, you need to remain optimistic. You need to you know, for instance, if your money isn't great, you know, how things don't look that good in, you know, from the world's point of view, you know, written down on paper, it doesn't look good. But you're being asked here, I think, to have faith, to put your faith first. And, you know, they say faith as small as a mustard seed can move a mountain, right? So it's like you're being asked, I think, to have more faith in the situation in your, you know, this year. Rather than feeling like you are trapped, I think you're having to really shed some of these old habits and patterns that you may have accumulated over this time. I think for a long time, your head's been low, you know, your head's been low. You've been looking at the limitations, the perceived limitations of what's around you and how things looked limiting, you know. But now you've realized that, you know, your head's up, the sun is shining, and now you're seeing all this abundance. Okay, so I can do this and I can do that. And I think that there's a bit of worry that maybe you haven't quite escaped it, that, you know, like, yeah, I'm just getting that you're a bit worried that maybe you haven't escaped that. Okay, and it's interesting because we've got the Seven of Swords as your first card, which is also another central focus point. So yeah, I am seeing here that you are trying to escape something. You are trying to figure out a way out of a situation that obviously you don't want to be in. But with it being swords, it's definitely talking about a more mental escape, a need to escape from some sort of mental paradigm, belief systems. The Queen of Wands is pushing through. The Queen of Wands, this could be a person. You could have a Queen of Wands person in your life, maybe a fire sign that's very confident. Maybe they're very spiritual, and they probably are here to help you, I feel. And I feel like they are an encouragement to you as well to stay positive. The Queen of Wands also talks about the Sun card, following your heart. So I feel that this is really what you're, this is the conflict. You're following your heart, you're wanting to follow your heart. It's pushing through this energy, this part of your psyche of wanting to put your heart's needs first, put your inner child's needs first, to follow your happiness, to be warm, to be generous, to let people in, to be social, again, to be warm. However, you could have doubts about that with the Seven of Swords. There could still be this wanting to hide, wanting to avoid this for fear of maybe being let down again, or having to go through that cycle again. But the World card here in the past does give confirmation, again with the Ten of Swords, is confirming that a cycle is over. I think that cycle is over and you have learned the lesson. I just think your mind needs to catch up, because I think with the Queen of Wands here, it's like you're ready to go. Like you're feeling, there's a strong feeling and sense of knowing where you're going and knowing what you're trying to achieve, which is happiness with here with the Eight of Cups. You know what now isn't working for you. And I think that, I mean, the Seven of Swords can also talk about actually figuring it out and, you know, really overcoming those mental hang-ups that we might have and really escaping that. Yeah, but the Eight of Cups does say that there is work to do. So to be too much of an escapist, and again with the Four of Cups, it's saying don't completely ignore how you feel. Don't ignore your fears. Stand up to them, you know, face them, look in the mirror, love yourself anyway, and still put yourself first and still follow your dreams and still do those things. And accept that there is a part of you that maybe is a little bit damaged by what happens and does need some love, care, and attention and compassion as well. in order for you to really step into this Queen of Wands energy. So yeah, there has been a major lesson learned here though from the past, most definitely. That cycle was now completed just in time for 2020 to begin. So it's all very good timing, I'd say. And then we've got the Justice card here as to what is motivating the situation. So this could be that you're here, this could be that you're waiting to hear back with regards to a legal matter, the justice system, a decision. You could be fighting for justice as well. Justice could be your main motivator. Maybe you're like, hang on, I've maybe wasted time, effort, and energy, and now I want what's mine, This is also about following your inner truth, learning lessons, karma, karmic lessons being learned. I feel as well that you are fighting for justice, like you want some sort of justice in a situation as well. And that could be a lot to do with why you're finding it hard to open up, to bring in this Queen of Wands energy, because you maybe feel like a great injustice was done, and you're now very much like, I want justice, I want fairness, I want what's mine. You maybe recognize what you've lost in some way as well. And maybe even notice where you've let yourself, where you haven't always used the best judgment for yourself as well. But now you are, that's very much part of your past. And I think you're getting a lot more balanced and more in touch with your inner truth and how you, how you're making decisions in the future. Maybe especially in regards to the circumstances that you found yourself in before, like maybe it was love, maybe it was work, maybe it was family, maybe it was just personal. So yeah, it's good to see the major arcana here though, driving you, the major kind of motivator, and what's going on in your subconscious is this energy of knowing my inner truth, and seeking justice at all times and always, fighting for what you believe to be right as well, in a sense, not being taken advantage of and keeping things above board, So in the near future, you've got the Page of Wands. Yay. That's a great card. So yeah, I really do feel like you have come to the end of the cycle, and it really is just kind of ghosts lingering of the past. And I feel as well that, if you want to get out of your head, you're going to have to take action here. With the Queen of Wands being, in the crossing position, and also the Page of Wands, it's like this energy may be your challenge. Also, the Nine of Wands is here. In your fears, hopes and fears. So yeah, I feel that they are in challenge positions. So I feel that putting action behind your newfound sense of freedom, confidence, decisiveness of direction, really putting action into that. You're going to, you're not gonna, the only way you're going to find out if it's working is by doing it. That's also what's here. Especially with the Page of Wands, it's all about experience. It's all about being optimistic, being curious, and seeing your glass as half full, seeing yourself as capable, believing that you're capable. Again, it's about faith and belief, and enthusiasm and positivity to try new things, to venture out into the world. This talks a lot about communication as well. So maybe you'll be meeting lots of people, talking to lots of new people. The Page of Wands also suggests that you may actually receive a lot of offers as well to explore. And again, that's where the Four of Cups may come in, to remind you that, don't judge a book by its cover. Do use your intuition when these new offers do come in, whatever they are. There could be people, work. The Page of Wands often talks about work, being headhunted and things like that. So yeah, it is a reminder here to really experience things away from just in your head, but actually by getting involved before you make any final decisions to turn the offers down. Okay, so we see you here with the Two of Swords, as to how you see yourself. So you see yourself as someone who's saying, you know what, I'm not going to let anyone in who threatens my happiness or threatens my new way of thinking. So you may be feeling quite defensive right now. You could also be feeling like you're making some sort of decision. You may feel like you're unable to make a decision, but I really see it as you protecting your peace. I see it as, yeah, you're protecting your peace, and you're, maybe as a Pisces as well, you are usually led by your emotions, especially with the King of Cups being the outcome, in the part of the outcome position. I feel like you are mastering your emotions, and maybe in the past, you've trusted, or you've been forgiving or very empathetic and sympathetic towards people, and allowed that to form your judgments and your decisions, when dealing with them, and maybe that hasn't really worked out. I feel like you're like, I haven't got as much water as I used to. Okay, I'm not as watery as I used to. I'm not as nice as I used to be. I think you're developing this skill, especially with the Justice card being the roots. It's like you're developing this skill of discernment and judging things a lot more based on fact and fairness, and you're not going to sacrifice yourself, I think, in a way here with the Justice card. You're not going to compromise to the point where things are unfair to to make a situation harmonious. I think you're willing to be difficult, which is good. So I'm not actually seeing the Two of Swords as that much of a negative thing, although there is always a warning here that as much as you may be trying to be logical about your decision making and not bringing your feelings, how you feel about something still needs to be considered. You still need to consider it, because even if you are wanting to, say for instance, this person does come back and you really do love them, but they are a complete, pain that you'd never really want to be with them, but the feelings are still there. It's worth looking at why those feelings are still there and why you still feel you want to be with this person, even though they don't make you happy, or even though you've decided to leave them. Why do you still feel drawn to them? What is it? What is it about you and your inner child that needs this energy? Is it that you're trying to relive something from the past in order to fix it? That's a classic psychological kind of phenomenon kind of thing, where we sometimes reenact past experiences over and over in the attempt to try to do it right this time. And sometimes we do that quite subconsciously. So the Two of Swords is also a bit of a warning card as well, not to ignore your subconscious, not to ignore it. It can actually backfire to do that, because it kind of leaves you blind. And I can see her blindfolded here as well, which does talk about, you don't want to be completely blind to things. Okay, so do take that blindfold off. Be brave enough to see what's in front of you, but also still hold those scales, still have those swords in your hand. If you can hold them all, you need quite a few hands, scales and swords. But yeah, still hold them as maybe the last decision like the last point of your decision making, but don't ignore the feelings that you have as well. They are to be recognized and they are to be healed, especially with the Eight of Cups here. You may have many people around you as well that even though I said this is a single kind of person's journey, with it being in your environment sector, there may be groups or people that you can confide in, that you can share your journey with. You might find other people are on the same path. It could be that this Queen of Wands person has been through the exact same thing. She's like, I've been there, I've done that, I know how to help you through this. It could be a friend. So yeah, so you've got in your worries, fears and worries and concerns, position, the Nine of Wands. So again, there is this defensiveness, and also the hope that you will be able to, have these new experiences, that you've still got enough strength and enthusiasm to keep pushing forward, and that, you haven't been robbed too much of your more positive kind of thinking, trying to remain positive, trying to remain enthusiastic, hoping that you can just stay in the light, I guess. You can remain resilient, that you can keep pushing through. So yeah, it looks like that's what your fears may be, that you don't have enough strength to continue. And I think that's what the Devil card is. It's like it's almost like this character is looking slightly up towards the Devil card here. It's interesting because all these cards are in a row as well. The Seven of Swords, the Devil card, and the Nine of Wands is like, these are the fears, these are the challenges here, really, of escaping a situation, a way of thinking, and being able to start over, to start anew, to really allow this wild card and Ten of Swords to mean the end and move forward. And I think you're just hoping that you have what it takes. I don't know what challenges you're facing, but what they actually are, but the Nine of Wands does suggest, though, that you are near completion, that you are near success, that really, if you've come this far, you've only actually got one more one to go. So have faith. Don't look at how things are. Don't worry about how things look. Have faith. It's important, I feel. So then we've got the High Priestess card as the final outcome, which is the Pisces cards. That's fantastic to see that you've come out in your own reading. So again, this does give confirmation that you are on the right path. You are becoming more in line with your true Pisces nature. Again, there was a reference to your sun sign at the beginning of the reading, so maybe that's quite poignant. So yeah, I feel that maybe it might be Pisces season as well, where when the sun comes into your sign, that you'll really feel that the beginning of the new year, that maybe that's when your year kind of starts as well, which makes sense, really. Your solar return is really every person's new year. So yeah, you may feel even more empowered at that time. But yeah, you may also be connecting more to your intuition. Your inner knowing may become more stronger. You may feel more settled in who you are. You may once again feel that you can trust your intuition. I think that this is also signifying some sort of healing and balance being brought in for you personally. I think you become a lot more wiser as well. So this is where maybe you have this mastery, so it may be that it's quite soon into the year, really, because we are ending with the World card here. So I don't think you're facing these challenges for the whole year, to be honest, although they may crop up once, throughout the year in small ways. But with the King of Cups here, I'm seeing that even near your birthday time, you will be coming to some sort of mastery of this Eight of Cups energy. You will kind of complete a major part of your journey, which is finding the balance between protecting your emotions or protecting your own well-being, and also remaining open to love. I think you have a whole new respect for love as well, and you will not give it as freely. You may be slightly more suspicious, And you're being advised here to use your intuition. This year may be a year of connecting to your intuition, of connecting to your heart as well. They may be major themes for you. And then we've got the Empress. What a card. So we've got fertility, structure, self-love, abundance, financial prosperity, a great home life. So I really do see this. Again, we've got even more self-mastery here. So I really think you start to fall in love with yourself, and I think you do gain that confidence back that you think you may have lost in the past. That Queen of Wands energy here really bursts through this year. I see you being successful. So yeah, there is an abundance here. And again, I'm getting this connection to astrology. So I don't know if you need to look at your astrological chart, or maybe you need to go and watch some astrology videos. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this will be a good year for you. I think this may even be your year. It'll be a very great year. There'll be lots of growth. A lot of growth, a lot of abundance. Maybe you're having children as well. You may find a King of Cups that you fall in love with, that falls in love with you, that you may decide to develop a relationship with this person, possibly as well. It's the first king to show up in the reading. I don't think we've got any other. Yeah, there's just this and also the Knight of Cups does talk about there possibly being, romantic gestures being made towards you. And the Four of Cups is just saying here that you may not recognize a good thing when it comes. You may not recognize opportunities when they appear for emotional fulfillment. I just think you're going to be a lot more picky as well. Again, like I said, no, you're not going to, you hold love to a much higher regard now, and it's going to take a lot more, I think, especially with the Nine of Wands here. There will be some barriers that you have up towards new people coming into your life, whether they be friends or even family or partners. You'll be a lot more it's like you've really learned from the past. I think the past has really left its imprint, and but spirits, the universe is always offering you more love anyway. It's like, here's another cup. So try your best, I guess, to use your intuition and to be open, and to have these experiences. Just because you're having the experiences and you're going out on dates and you're speaking to people doesn't necessarily mean that you are emotionally invested. And really, the true building of that muscle of intuition and standing up for yourself and bringing justice into your relationships is to actually experience it and do it. By cutting yourself off from it isn't really justice for yourself anyway, right? So you have to kind of work that muscle by actually getting involved and then actually standing your ground on issues that are important to you, or walking away from unfairness when you see it. But don't just turn things down on face value, okay? All right, so I'm going to pull one card and keep it simple. I'm going to pull one card for you, Pisces, for the year. We've got message in a bottle. At the base of the deck, we've got truth be told. So 14 and 15. It's interesting. The devil card is also the number 15. Okay. So message in a bottle. Paying attention to the signs, you will get messages that may come to you from unexpected sources. Again, there's a possibility of pregnancy here as well for some of you. There's also a possibility here that your child could have a child. Okay, that could happen. You may not be maybe too thrilled about that. I'm getting that. That's just a whole nother message that just came through. The children may be a focus this year. But yeah, the overall message here with message in the bottle is to pay attention to the signs, pay attention to what people say to you. Try your best to keep a clear perspective on what people say to you and the messages that you receive. Okay, whether they be intuitively or actually physically spoken to you. The messages, you know, what people say and the communications that you have need to be taken, you know, as they are. Try not to taint it with a kind of perception that makes you not listen, that makes you not pay attention. You know, don't think you know it all, basically. Try to kind of have an open mind as well in terms of what people are saying to you. Okay, don't just think, oh, they're saying this, so I know what that means, you know, or, you know, they're doing this, so I know what that means. Try to, it really is a kind of a year of self-study, seeing why you react the way that you do, seeing why you are, and seeing why you are the way that you are. And also the high priestess does talk about knowing thyself, to know thyself, to be to be connected to who you really are. Again, that sovereign energy. This is about a journey within and using your intuition. I'm going to go ahead and just read from the book number 15, The Message in the Bottle. So it says here, communication, a sign, a Pleiadian, which is the name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. So it says, Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them. When you believe, you will receive them. And when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens, they may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might just say the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today your message is this: Spirit hears you and the reply is favorable. So yeah, again, picking up those signs, and yeah, be careful that you don't turn down things, that you're listening. Keep your ears open. Listen to what people are saying. Okay. So the protection message reads, are you refusing to acknowledge the signs because you want things as you want them? Red flags are not pretty decorations for you to admire. They are warning you for a reason. If something doesn't sit right with you, trouble could be hiding in the bushes. Don't ignore the signs. Spirit always has your best interest at heart and will draw your attention to what you are overlooking. So yeah, maybe it can go both ways as well, with that message being there. To really use your intuition. Do not ignore the red flags. The devil card could be temptations as well, to fall back into old patterns as well. So again, it's important not to ignore your motives, not to ignore what it is that's driving you. Once you can tackle those things, you can then see the devil when it appears and be like, okay, no, I know why I keep wanting you. It's because of this, and I know it's not good for me, so I'm not going to take it. But when you're just blind to it, you know, then that's when I think you're more vulnerable. So pay attention to these signs and you will be just fine. The truth be told, listening to the truth. Again, I think there's a lot to do with your perceptions because of past hurts. Sometimes pure logic doesn't always work as well, because someone could say all the right things, you know, logically they could seem like they're great, but your intuition, how they make you feel, do they make you feel like how you felt in the past with the past person or in a past situation? You know, that could also be an indicator. Okay, and the more and more you follow your heart and the more happier you are, the more, whenever you feel bad, it's going to really shine brightly. I mean, it's going to be very, very apparent, and you'll know quickly to kind of get rid of that, or to get out of the situation, to get out of those feelings. So it is really, really important that you do everything that you can to create a positive space for yourself this year, and to really follow your heart's desire, keep yourself in the most highest vibration. So anything lower vibration, it will become very apparent to you. You know, those red flags will be obvious. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of a reading. So sorry to go on forever, but hope you enjoyed it, and I love you. I'll see you later on in the year. Take good care. Love you. Bye bye.